This just in, an unannounced Social Security revelation has quietly surfaced. And it's not just any bureaucratic detail. No, this one is different. It's potentially life-changing. And more importantly, it's good. That's right, after months, even years of concern about the future of Social Security, and as millions of Americans continue to struggle under the weight of inflation, shrinking retirement savings, and rising medical bills, it appears that help may be on the way. And here's the catch. It was never supposed to be made public. Not yet, at least. What we're about to discuss is a major shift in Social Security strategy, one that was being quietly drafted behind closed doors, away from press conferences, public hearings, or televised debates. Documents and insider reports have revealed that lawmakers and agency officials have been secretly laying the groundwork for a bold new direction. And if you're receiving Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or preparing to retire, this could mean more money in your pocket, faster approvals, and new protections for vulnerable Americans. Today, we're diving deep into what this secret plan includes, why it wasn't announced publicly, who it's designed to help the most, and when you could begin seeing the results in your bank account. It all started quietly. Earlier this month, several Social Security advocates began whispering about a leaked internal draft circulating within the federal agency. At first, the contents were vague, mentions of proposed increases, tweaks to eligibility rules, and adjustments to the disability claims process. But as the days went by, more details emerged, and what we now know is nothing short of remarkable. The document, reportedly originating from an internal SSA policy working group, outlines a multi-layered reform package aimed at addressing decades-old inefficiencies and providing financial relief to those hardest hit by today's economic pressures. What stands out about this draft is not just what it includes, but when it was meant to be released. According to insiders, this plan was being held back deliberately, with a tentative launch date of early 2026, well, after the upcoming presidential election. Why the delay? Several sources say the goal was to avoid turning Social Security into an election year controversy. But the plan was too big to keep under wraps for long. Thanks to internal pressure and growing public demand for change, the draft began to circulate. And now the public is beginning to realize what's been going on behind the scenes. So what exactly is in this secret Social Security proposal? The specifics are both broad and deeply targeted, touching several key parts of the system. First and foremost, the plan proposes a special monthly increase of $100 to $200 for beneficiaries earning below a certain income level. This is not the annual COLA adjustment, which for 2025 is expected to be modest. This is a separate benefit enhancement aimed at low and moderate income retirees who've been disproportionately affected by the recent cost of living spikes. Secondly, the proposal seeks to dramatically expand the income and asset thresholds for Supplemental Security Income SSI, which haven't been adjusted meaningfully in decades. Right now, many seniors and people with disabilities are disqualified from receiving SSI simply because they own a modest car or have a small emergency fund. Under this proposal, those limits would be modernized to reflect today's economic realities, potentially allowing millions more to qualify. Next, and perhaps most surprisingly, the draft outlines a total overhaul of the disability approval process. Currently, many SSDI and SSI applicants face months, sometimes years of delays, appeals, and red tape before receiving a decision. The new system would use modern tools, including digitized medical records and automated claim flagging, to shorten this timeline by up to 40%. That means faster approvals, fewer rejections, and less paperwork for those in desperate need. Finally, the plan introduces a set of age-targeted enhancements, particularly for seniors aged 80 and over. These would include automatic access to prescription assistance programs, help with utility payments, and streamlined enrollment into federal food assistance programs. No separate applications needed. These additions reflect a growing awareness that the oldest retirees are often the most financially vulnerable. The answer, as always, lies in politics. Social Security reform is one of the most controversial topics in Washington. Any proposal that adjusts benefits, whether it raises them or lowers them, becomes instantly politicized. In this case, the drafters likely feared backlash from both sides. Fiscal conservatives might object to the cost. Progressives might argue it doesn't go far enough. And political strategists, especially in an election year, would rather avoid complex debates about taxes and retirement funding. There's also the issue of funding. While the plan includes a range of cost projections and funding ideas, including possible tweaks to the payroll tax cap, it stops short of introducing a concrete payment mechanism. This omission is likely intentional. By postponing the official release, lawmakers are buying time to negotiate how the plan will be funded without sparking panic or misinformation. But the public's growing awareness of the draft now changes everything. Pressure is mounting, and it's becoming increasingly likely that parts of the plan may be fast-tracked ahead of the election instead of delayed until 2026. For low-income seniors, the proposal could mean an extra $1,200 to $2,400 a year, enough to cover several months of groceries or utilities. For people with disabilities who have been stuck in endless paperwork loops, this could finally be the relief they've been waiting for. And for older retirees, especially those without pensions or savings, the added benefits could lift them out of the cycle of poverty and give them breathing room they haven't had in years. This isn't just about numbers, it's about dignity. It's about restoring a sense of financial stability to people who've spent their lives working, raising families, and contributing to society. For too long, these individuals have been told to wait, to make do, to tighten their belts. Now they may finally be getting the acknowledgement and the support they deserve. Interestingly, this secret plan comes just as estimates for the 2025 Social Security COLA are being released. Early indicators show a modest increase, likely around 2.6% to 3.0%. While that adjustment will help, it's not nearly enough to offset the rising cost of essentials like rent, medication, and transportation. What makes this new proposal so significant is that it adds to the COLA, rather than replacing it. That means beneficiaries could receive their standard cost of living increase plus this new targeted bonus if the proposal is enacted. That's potentially a game changer, especially for those who've seen their real purchasing power decline year after year despite these annual adjustments. And while the COLA is automatic, this new benefit could be tailored, targeting those who need it most. That kind of precision is rare in federal programs, but it's exactly what makes this plan both bold and practical. Of course, not everyone is cheering. Critics of the plan have already begun raising alarm bells about the cost. Some budget analysts argue that expanding benefits without a fully funded source of revenue could destabilize the already delicate Social Security Trust Fund. Others claim that prioritizing short-term increases could distract from the long-term reforms still needed to keep the program solvent. But proponents argue that the cost of inaction is far greater. The Social Security Administration has warned that without changes, automatic cuts could take place as early as 2033. And millions of Americans are already living paycheck to paycheck, unable to wait another decade for incremental reform. The biggest winners: low-income retirees, especially those without a private pension or retirement savings. These individuals have seen their monthly budgets squeezed dry by inflation, and this plan directly addresses their needs. Also benefiting are individuals under 62 with disabilities. The streamlined claims process could mean quicker access to SSDI payments, fewer denials, and less need for lawyers or appeals. Older seniors, particularly those 80 and above, would receive additional care and services, recognizing the unique medical and financial challenges they face in their later years. And finally, caregivers, often women who've spent years out of the workforce raising children or caring for parents, could benefit from the broader eligibility rules. Their sacrifices, long ignored by Social Security's rigid system, may finally be acknowledged. If current momentum continues, we could see movement on this proposal sooner than expected. According to policy insiders, several key dates are being discussed. May 2025. Internal SSA working groups will complete their policy review. June to July 2025, a draft version of the bill may be introduced quietly in Congress. Fall 2025. With the election heating up, lawmakers may feel pressure to publicly endorse the plan. Early 2026. If passed, some benefit enhancements could begin as early as February or March. While there are still many hurdles to cross, what's clear is that this is no longer just a backroom discussion. This is a real proposal with real traction and real implications for over 70 million Americans. First, make sure your SSGOV account is updated. When official announcements roll out, this will be your primary source of information. Update your address, phone number, and direct deposit info to avoid delays. Second, get your documentation in order, especially if you're applying for SSI or SSDI. With faster processing in the pipeline, having everything ready could speed up your approval. Third, be vigilant. Scammers thrive in times of change. Always confirm that messages claiming to be from the SSA are legitimate before giving out personal information. And finally, share this video. The more people know about this proposal, the harder it becomes for lawmakers to sweep it under the rug. Public awareness could be the very thing that pushes this plan over the finish line. In a time when so many headlines bring fear, uncertainty, and struggle, this one stands out. A secret Social Security plan that offers hope, real, tangible relief for millions of Americans. It may have been crafted in private, but now that it's in the public light, the people have a voice. If you found this report helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more Social Security updates, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an urgent development. Drop a comment below. What would an extra $100 or $200 a month mean for your household? We read every comment, and your story matters. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay informed, stay empowered, and take care.